We're going to call to order the best Rotary Club and we're going to do an invocation and a pledge of allegiance if y'all want to rise. Ruth, are you invocating for us way back in the back?
President Lynn, I am. Please bow your heads. As Rotarians, let's renew our commitment to help others. Let's remember that our power, influence, and wealth are blessings, and charity is more fulfilling than decadence. With friends beside us, bonds of Rotary between us, and goals before us, let us be thankful for our Rotary friends and the meal we share. Amen.
All right, now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then right now we're going to vote on whether we're going to do the four-way test. If you want to do the four-way test, say aye. If you don't want to do the four-way test today, say nay. Oh, it looks like the ayes have it. For those that aren't familiar, we're going to read this off. So, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And the last thing we're going to vote on is whether or not we're going to do a song. If you want to do a song, say aye. If you don't want to do a song, say nay. I'm going to go with the nays. All right, go ahead and have a seat. Okay, for all of our guests here today, if you're wondering what all that was about, we're kind of in the midst of kind of changing up our program and our meeting format a little bit. So we're trying to get a feel for what people want to do. One of the things we're thinking about is whether or not to do the four-way test, because it sounds a little bit like a cult whenever we're all doing that. And then if baseball is playing, all we do is sing "Take Me Out to the Ballpark," ball game, whatever, most of the time. And people that visit are sitting there going, "Oh my God, what did I step into?" But it's kind of some Rotary traditions that we're carrying on here. Do we have any visiting Rotarians? No visiting Rotarians. Do we have guests of Rotarians other than our students that are here? Nope. And we are going to move right into club business and announcements. And Jeff McCann, you want to step up and do your thing?
All right. So if I could get all of the scholarship people, come on up, all you kids. This is the part where you have to earn your money.
Yep.
Just got to make a line up here.
Do they all have their acceptance speeches memorized?
Exactly. So this year we gave scholarships to 18 kids out of Sedro Woolley High School. It's the most that we've ever done. I believe we gave $60,000 in scholarships. So it's really exciting. I'd like to thank all of the people on my committee who helped. So if you're on the scholarship committee, please stand up if you're able to, or give a wave if you're not. Thank you. So now I'm going to pass the microphone down the line. If you could just introduce yourself and say what you're going to do next year.
I am Logan Torset. I will be going to the University of Washington for mechanical engineering next year.
Hi, I'm Amelia Johns, and I'm going to be doing pre-counseling at Northwest Nazarene.
Hi, I'm Chloe Larson. I'm going to Montana State University studying mechanical engineering.
Hi, I'm Gretzi Torres. I'm going to Skagit for the first 2 years, then transferring to Western.
Hi, I'm Vienna Landfear. I'm going to Columbia Basin College to study radiology.
I'm Briella Canonen. I'm going to Western and will be studying kinesiology.
I'm Nathan Gahan. I'm going to Lyman School.
My name is Spencer White, and I'm going to Skagit Valley College to study psychiatric nursing.
My name's Katie Kins, and I'm going up to Western to dual major in pre-law and music.
My name is Larkin, and I'm going to be attending Western, earning my biology degree.
I'm Rosie. I'll be attending Bellingham Technical College to study dental hygiene.
My name is Daniel Lopez Ruiz, and I'll be studying electrical engineering at Washington State University in Pullman.
So congratulations to all these kids, and also congratulations to the parents for all the help that you obviously did to getting the kids this far. So good luck next year, and hopefully you come back and let us know how it goes sometime, okay? You can go sit down again.
And Jeff, do you have any more of your scholarship committee here today?
Well, we had them wave, but they're...
Oh, Sam, Aldi. So we got a couple people here that sat through. So just wanted to say thank you for your work on getting all this done. And let's give our scholarship committee and Ruth a big thank you, because Ruth came up with the cool idea at the auction that funded a bunch of this stuff. So we can just give those folks a hand. All right. Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. Let me get caught up here. All right. So, Louis, do you have everything you need to induct our newest member? Does she have her speech memorized?
Don't let him go yet. Don't let him go yet.
Well, it gives me good pleasure to introduce a new member that coming in today, Jessica Espy, and Samantha Stormont is the sponsor, and Samantha is responsible for making sure Jessica is able to get through all of the paths of Rotary. So Jessica, I'm going to read the new member induction, which is a rather formal statement that is required by Rotary International. President Lynn, fellow Rotarians and guests, it is indeed an honor for me to induct Jessica Espy as the newest member of the best Rotary Club in the universe. The mission of Rotary is to provide service to others, promote high ethical standards, and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through its friendship with business, professional, and community leaders. We are not a political organization, but are dedicated to the practice of good citizenship. We are not a charitable organization, but are dedicated to helping our fellow man. We are not a religious organization, but are dedicated to the ideals of morality and high ethical standards. We bring together our individual skills, resources, and qualities of leadership to improve the quality of life for people not only in our local communities, but also in communities around the world. Jessica, you have been chosen for membership into the Rotary Club of Sedro Woolley because the Rotarians of this club feel that you possess the qualities of leadership in your field, the qualities of personal conduct, the willingness to share those qualities of personal conduct, all directed towards the pursuance of Rotary's mission. It has been said that when a Sedro Woolley Rotarian is asked to perform, the answer is Let me read that again. It has been said that when the Sedro Woolley Rotarian is asked to perform, the answer is yes. Good. President Lynn, fellow Rotarians and guests, please join me in welcoming Jessica Espy as the newest member of the best Rotary Club in the universe. Jessica, here is a folder. Your badge will be coming soon. Someone's making it out. Oh, and I must say Jessica's classification, I believe, is going to be forestry.
All right. Thanks, Louis. Appreciate it. Let's see. I think I just set my glasses. All right, moving on. Going to be doing the food pantry stocking after this meeting, and we're going to be doing that through the end of school, which is June 12th. We had a really good conversation on dues last week, and I've gotten a few emails on dues. So if you're still wanting to give me some input on dues, or any one of us, Travis, myself, any one of us on the board, or throw it out to the whole club, make sure you do so, because we're going to be presenting this to the board with some recommendations from what we've gotten from the club. So we're going to need to hear that sooner than later. And so we started today at 12:10. In June, we're going to try to start at 12:05. Any comments, concerns, complaints, or yeehaw, let's get this going earlier? Yeah, go ahead, Carl. That's why we're doing this early. We're trying to get this going before you get here. And like I said earlier, when we're doing these adjustments, we can always adjust back. It just depends on if people are having an issue or struggling to get here. So we're going to try it at 12:05. If it doesn't work, then we're going to back down to 12:10. We're trying a few things on for size. Yep. So it's pressing a couple of you that have to travel a ways. Got it. All right. So before the end of June, does anybody need a Rotary presidential pardon for anything they've done Rotary-wise, transgression-wise? That won't eliminate you paying a fine or anything, but if you need a pardon, I don't have an auto pen, so I've just got a regular pen. So if you need anything like that, let me know. And as a reminder, installation is going to be on June 30th, starting at 5:30. And between 5:30 and 6:30, Chris Eager is going to be here performing. According to Becky, she's come up with a plan for that, or somebody did. I appreciate that. And Chris, did you want to say something about summer concert and that?
Yeah, so we got the bands booked. We got quite a few sponsors this year. We kind of leveled it up a little bit with the sponsorships. So top sponsors pretty much paid for the cost of the bands, which we increased. We have not increased the what we've paid the bands for. Well, this will be year 12. And also getting a better sound system in. So we increased our budget for that too, thanks to all of our sponsors. We got the museum, we've got Skagit Agravits, we've got Nick, we've got Carl DeJong. I know I'm missing a whole bunch of Bill McCann. Anyways, I didn't bring a list, but I do know the names of the bands. So without further ado, they were voted, all the sponsors voted their top 3. Well, our top sponsors got to vote on the bands, gave me their top 3 off of a list of 43 bands submissions this year, which it would have been a whole lot more, but I figured out Google Forms. So I didn't get any submissions without all the information I needed. So yay, Google. So the top bands, opening night, we've got the Penny Stinkers, our very own Jeff Sloth, that used to be a teacher here in school, and also my old bandmates. So they're trying to get me on stage, but I'm not going to do it. Week 2, we've got Dangerous Curves. They are an all-women powerhouse rock band. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Week 3, we've got Stacy Jones Band, and then closing out the scene, we've got Baby Cakes, and they're loud sound, full horn band. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Oh, and then mark your calendars, please. June 25th, probably around 5, between 5:30. Rothenmuller will do all the pizzas and sodas. We're doing hula hoops in the parking lot in my office. So hula hoop making party. It is a lot of fun for those of you guys who come out. We make the hoops, and then I've got probably 100 freaking rolls of duct tape, all different colors. So it is a lot of fun. So mark your calendars, the 25th, Thursday night.
Perfect. Carrie, you've got your mouth full of sandwich there, and you showed up just right after we did the students. Did you want to say anything about all your students that stood up here real quick? I'm sorry we got going fast. Yep.
First off, I just want to thank Sedro Woolley Rotary and all of our community members that show up at our auction every year that raise close to $50,000 to provide the scholarship opportunities for our students. We are grateful. Without the support, I know many of the students here, they might be in a situation where their family needs that extra benefit to allow the student the opportunity to pursue and achieve where they want to go. And this financial scholarship gives them just that boost to get there. And so on behalf of our staff at Sedro Woolley High School, we just thank Sedro Woolley Rotary for all that work that makes this possible. Second, I want to say there are several parents here I saw in the audience. We just appreciate our parents that every day are getting the students to school, working on get to sleep, get to school on time. The partnership with you and also you being the biggest cheerleader for our school is massive. So we appreciate all of our parents that are here. And last but not least, I want to extend a huge thank you and congratulations to our students who are selected. You are shining stars for our campus and for our school and for our school district. And I hope someday that you consider going into a career and then possibly coming back and joining Rotary in whatever town that may be. This organization is dedicated to providing excellent resources and provide opportunities. For example, Janicki Fields out at our fast pitch and baseball, right? Providing opportunities for our community to stay together. So consider joining Rotary, and also congratulations on a job well done and finishing your senior year strong. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Good job. All right. Let's see. Anything else from the floor? Any announcements from the floor? Hearing none, we're going to move on to raffle. We have a raffle.
All right, we have a raffle. You pick the numbers, I'll call them out for you. All right, first one up is I-19. All right. We got Steve Huggins. And we've got not a cougar or a husky, pay $2.
That's worth every dime.
Students, you don't have to worry about that. Wait. Can I get somebody to pick up some money? How about Aldi? All right. Okay, next number is 071. Oh, hey, I won. It's me. That wasn't rigged, I swear. Keith picked it out. I'm going for the wine. All right. My mom deserves that. Okay. Last one is I-29. I-29. All right. What are we taking, Don? All right. Sounds good. All right. That's our raffle.
All right. So real quick, Sergeant at Arms. We're going to do this rapido. If you have not sent me an email expressing your concerns or thoughts on raising dues or not raising dues, that will be $2. If you have sent me an email, you're good to go. And Aldi. So you need to talk to Mary Crandall, the Honorable Mary Crandall. She paid your fine. She paid your fine this week for sending me your wife's picture. I don't know if you personally had anything to do with that, but we appreciate anybody that got the Health Quest, got Aldi's wife on the front cover. So I'm thinking that'll be $1 because Mary paid your fine. Got it. And if you did not buy lunch today, I was going to say that ought to be $12, but let's just go with $2 for not buying lunch. And I'm going to make one quick announcement before we do Happy Bucks. For anybody that needs to shove off, we're going to have our program right after this. So feel free to bug out at any point here. You can listen to our Happy Bucks and hear what people are talking about being happy about, but feel free. It's not rude to bug out. So feel free. And if you could grab an Orange Crush out of the cooler, because I don't know what I'm going to do with all that Orange Crush that's still in there. Got it. So, all right. So Happy Bucks. We got Happy Bucks.
So I've got a happy 10. I'll Venmo that. Mrs. Carlton and I are in the process of interviewing these scholarship recipients to select the student that'll become the George C. Brickett Junior Excellence Award winner. And I just want to say it's one of our best days, right? We've got a few more we've got to interview. We're going to do that next Monday. So congratulations to all you students for a great job, a great career at Sedro Woolley High School. And it'll just get better next year. And best of luck to you and to the parents. Like Carrie said, you're a key component of their success. And along that line of success, last night I had the opportunity to present, along with my family, the Brian Gurney Memorial Scholarship to Ben Belisle, a senior who's going to Seattle University. It's just really such a neat honor for Brian, who was a great kid. And we raised funds through the Gurney Tourney 2.0. And last year we had the opportunity to endow the fund. So we're not having a Gurney Tourney this year, and it's not sad. We're really happy about that. So great job, kids. Have a great graduation week, and best of luck to you all.
I'm going to give a $2 early lever and then a $20. Everybody here probably knows David Davison. He's retiring, and they're having a thing down at their Riverfront Park. So I'm going to shoot down there and go to that too. Oh, you gotta have some cash.
David, you are not the boss of Doug there, so.
I got a happy $5 cash, not Venmo. First, congratulations to all the scholarship winners, especially the Vikings in the room, whoever's going to Weston. Good job. But I also wanted to share that I got to go spend Memorial Day with my whole family. My kids drove from Montana and Idaho to Winthrop. We all met there. The traffic was horrendous. But turns out my grandson really attached to me and grandma not so much. So I won the first round. Yep.
I got cash too. I got cash too. So speaking of retirement, on your table, this is my boss and I. We're retiring at the same time because I don't want to work without her and she doesn't want to work without me. So 2 weeks from today, we're having a little gathering at Country Meadow Village from 3 to 6. Come on out and say hi and have some food and drink. And we're just so blessed at the great career we've had at Country Meadow Village. It's really been an honor.
Did he steal your thunder?
And if David gets the mic again, that he's going to be fined.
I'm happy. What David said. No, we're retiring. June 12th is my last day. June 15th is David's last day.
I don't know why you picked a different day than I did, but I have a glow about me that people haven't noticed in decades. They mention it every time they look at me. I think I'm happy. So there's my happy 20.
Just take it off. Missed a couple of meetings. My oldest son in the Army bought a house again down in Georgia. So I had to fly down there for a week and move him out of his apartment into his house. I have a two-story into a two-story. I love my kids. And then my youngest just graduated from Whitworth University with his health science degree. So.
I wasn't here last week. I don't know when they did birthdays, but I have a birthday in May, and yeah, I don't even remember how much it is, but there's $5 for my birthday.
Okay. I just wanted to say thank you, Doug. No, you don't have to go. I just wanted to I'm Venmoing right now because I never carry cash. I don't know if I need to start doing that clearly, but happy 50 for our students of the month. And also we had a state runner-up championship team for our fast pitch team. And to watch those ladies play on the field, it was pure dominance. You need to know this stat. 95-7, they outscored their opponents in district and state. 95-7. And they had gone with only 22 runners all season long crossing home plate. So Vienna happens to be one of our amazing athletes. Vienna, will you stand up for us? She was on that fast pitch team. Oh. Hayden. Sorry. Yeah, Braylon. Sorry, I didn't see Braylon. She had the back of her head. Braylon, will you stand up as well? So two of our most amazing. I'm sorry, Braylon, I didn't see you in the back there. I apologize. I just want to say a huge congratulations to those ladies and for a job well done. You should be really proud. And our state track meet is happening right now. So we're in the midst of it and it'll finish tomorrow. We have incredible athletes that are down there at Mount Tahoma competing. So thank you.
All right, that it? All right, guests, if you want to take off, we're going to move into our program and whatever you want to do. And Chris, do you need a couple of moments to set up? Does he have you didn't have a stand. Did you have a PowerPoint? Nope. Oh, got it. So I'm going to have Stan come up here to the mic and take over. You can come up too. Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, so our program today is being put on by Stan Odell and Genevieve Martin. Stan has been in the community for many years, and amongst the many different jobs he's had, besides being a captain in the tank commands. So if you have questions about driving Army tanks, talk to Stan. He's also been a documentary filmmaker and several other positions during his life. It's pretty interesting, the different things he's done. Genevieve is graduating this year from Sedro Woolley High School. So they are making a documentary and they will be covering the city of Sedro Woolley and the community of Sedro Woolley. And that's what Stan's going to talk about today.
Well, hello. I'm not sure how to start this because it's kind of complex. I could do something a little funny. If you want to hear that, I got a funny story. Or I can just dump into it. So which way do you go? Just start into it or a funny story? Who said that? I know who said that. Well, now I'm going to tell a funny story, and it's about her. No, I won't do that. I could. But, well, my background, we've lived here in Sedro Woolley for about over 50 years. My wife was a special ed teacher in Mount Vernon, Jefferson Elementary School, and I've taught at the college writing and screenwriting. My background is in psychology and communication, and I'm very fascinated with communication and how easy it is to make mistakes and how wonderful it is to learn the many ways of communicating, which I think we're losing a lot now because we don't look at other people's faces as much. And that troubles me, but that's just me. I did a lot of work with interspecies communications between humans and wolves. I had wolves for 22 years here and spent a lot of time out with them. And I just so enjoyed how they got things. It was amazing to me. I had foxes too. But anyway, there's so many ways to do this, but I'll give you a little bit of background perhaps into what got me to what I've done and why we're doing this thing right now. And there's a way to go through that, but that which precedes it is my time in the service during the late 60s and early 70s as an armor officer and in the National Guard too afterwards in the reserve, because I liked the service. I liked that they were mission oriented and we were allowed to pursue and accomplish a mission, and we had to work together to do it. We had to work together to do it. There was no playing around. You learn to trust people based upon what they do. And that's always been precious to me, is to remember that. And I so see us falling out of that right now. I see so much anger in the world and in our country, and finger pointing and blame, and nobody does anything. Nobody sits down and says, or very few people sit down and say, how do we accomplish this and work together? And whoever comes up with the right idea that day is the one you listen to. And that's the way it ought to be. And that's been very much on my mind. And when my oldest boy was reaching draft age some years ago, he just turned 50, my God. And this is a really private story, but maybe now in my life, because I'm just almost 81, it's time to tell a couple of these because it may do some good. When I taught writing, I always taught you have to write a story and have the writer's generosity in there. It can't be about yourself. You have to give some people something at the end of your communication that makes them want to do something, that gives them permission to do something, and then the motivation comes after that. But I was standing out under this huge cedar tree, an old growth cedar on our property, which got hit by lightning this last winter, and we had to take it down, which kind of broke my heart because I made some pretty good decisions under that tree. And I stood out there, and this really happened. And I have to say because it was my story, but I would much rather have you appreciate what happened. And I stood under that tree, and I said, I want to do something. What can I do about war? Because I lost a great portion of my classmates in Vietnam, and I've never forgotten that. And so I stood under that tree, and my son's getting older, and I'm thinking about it. And I said, what can I do about war? And the Soviet Union was basically our enemy then. And I laughed. I laughed out loud, and I shook my head and I took 2 steps, and I said, who are you to ask such a question? And then I stopped, And I said, well, let's find out. And so I self-taught myself in video production. And when I was ready, I went to I wanted to go to the Soviet Union, and I wanted us to make films together. One crew, unedited by anybody, no government interference, filmed in both countries with a common theme. That was a tall order, and then show it internationally on the same day, at the same time, well, same time. If I had known how hard that was going to be, well, I still would have tried. But I'd like to say I wouldn't have, because it was impossible. People, when I was doing some commercial work before that, they told me, the Seattle people said, you can never live in Sedro Woolley, Washington, and ever do anything like that. You have to come here, you have to work. And I said, well, let's see. And through going to some things that were, and this is really important because this is really what I'm trying to do here, and this will make sense in a few minutes, I hope. I thought, I began to pursue the citizen diplomacy things that were going on at the time, and we didn't have any money. And so I used what we could get, and I went to Texas just because it felt like the thing to do. I had to trust to those invisible things. And I met a Greek journalist there, and I'm Armenian, and Greeks and Armenians get along really well. And well, they really do. My wife is Norwegian German, and oh my God, two completely different personalities. Maybe that's why we're, still together. But anyway, and he said, I was just talking to a friend of mine. I told him what I wanted to do. And he said, he's the manager of the largest documentary studio in the Soviet Union in Moscow. And he told me we should do something with the Americans now. He said, get over there as soon as you can. And that still gives me goosebumps. And I managed to connect up with another group of people that were going, got a visa, and in 2 weeks, I met him in Moscow, and we were driving on a rainy night to this gigantic studio in Moscow that they are the people who make documentary films. And I took with me a video I made in the town where I shouldn't be working if I want to be, a big shot, this town. And I walked around and I told people what I was going to do. I went to the ball field that's over there by Food Pavilion. That's not the ball field anymore. It's too bad. Barbershops, restaurants. I told people what I was going to do. And I just took pictures of Americana life in this country. And just to have it. And so I went in and I met these people, and there were 7 of them, and it was dark in the studio. And I know there were KGB people later there. And oddly enough, we ended up filming in the KGB headquarters in one of our episodes later on. But it was pretty solemn. And the Russians push you. They like to push you to see if you stand up. And that's the way they do business. And I put that VHS tape in and showed them this. And they looked and they talked and they said, we can do business. And we shook hands. And that started what was called the Homeland Project. They saw in that film of this town with a funny name some kind of authenticity that they wanted to see. And that's kind of amazing. And now we're doing another film in this, I keep saying funny little town because I think it's one of the greatest towns ever. We're still here. And I hope it will do the same thing, because I'm making it not just for here or regionally, but nationally. I've made films that were the Homeland Project that were shown on National Soviet Television, the Discovery Channel, many PBS stations, all on the same day in the same version, unedited by anybody. And every one of them, of the 5 episodes before the Russian Soviet Union ended, and we were there just before it ended, and it was a tank that shot a shell in the building we were interviewing in at the time. I love tanks. Didn't like that one, but everyone was nominated by the Discovery Channel for an Emmy, in the cable Emmy, as the best documentary special of the year. And we won so many other awards. But the best thing I take from that now was learning that success is not making money, it's completing your mission. And 2, I was sitting with the Russian director. She and I were sitting on May Day, and we just stood up in our hotel and watched all those tanks go by in Red Square and things I had seen my whole life. And I found out later they tried to get me to stand up on that above the tomb of Lenin's tomb, but it didn't work. But I thought, oh my God, I almost got to do that. But I still was wondering what I was doing there. And we got into this one bar that was not for tourists. And it was like walking into Star Wars. And music, smoke, it's out of a Humphrey Bogart movie. And we sat there and we noticed this table distance here of handsome people. And they were mid-20s, 30s, something. And this guy detached himself and came over and knelt down. And he said, are you the ones making those documentary films? And I go, yep. And he said, you keep making those. The world needs those right now. And he was from Romania. And I knew then that I was doing what I ought to be doing. And that I've always remembered that. That was the finest moment, the greatest thanks I ever had from that project. So now, many years later, I look and I see my country in peril again, and this time from within. And I see us hating each other, pointing fingers, blaming, and nobody or very few people stepping up to do something, to realize that they do matter, that nobody's more powerful than the individual. Nobody. And only you limit yourself. And it begins with giving yourself permission to do something. That's worked into this film that we're making here. It's down, it's subtextual. What I'm going to have Jenny tell you a little bit about the kind of the arc of the film without getting into super details. But, and then I want to tell you what's behind it and what I see. When I went to the Soviet Union, I made a presentation to Rotary just to let them know what was going on. And they picked up on it on their own. I wasn't asking for anything at the time. And they made it a Rotary International project. And they helped us when we went to Santa Fe to make the second episode. The Rotarians there put us up in buses and stuff, places to eat, hotels. They made it possible. And when we showed that film, premiered it there, the governor of the state was our keynote speaker, and the Rotarians and Discovery Channel was there. It was a big deal. They said it was the largest indoor event in Santa Fe's history. And I stood up there like this, and I looked at all the people we had interviewed in the film. And there are at least 3 people here that have been interviewed by us. And, right? And so I look at the scientists. We went to the labs and they let us in to this meeting between Soviet and American bomb makers. First time it had ever happened, but we got to interview that. And Apache artists and Spanish descendants and native people. It was beautiful to see how people got along and how they managed to live in a city that they all claimed as their own. The native people by birthright, Spanish by conquering, and as they tell me, then the Americans by their money. And yet they all had to live together, and they did a pretty darn good job of it. So I'll let Jenny now just give you the overview, and then I'll go a teeny bit deeper, and we'll be on our way. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Genevieve Martin, or some of you might know me as Jenny. I actually first got the opportunity to do this documentary a while back. I wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into. Had no idea what I was doing. Just the fear of graduation was on my mind, and it was great because that's what the documentary is about. The step of going into adulthood, and just really focuses on how important community, the high school, all of the school programs are to our nation, and how it is worldwide, and how it should be, that we're all need to be working together and not have 2 sides of a story. There needs to be in between. There needs to be deeper things in this documentary. I filmed about 11 people or a dozen. Yeah. So a lot of people I'm talking to, and I'm in the face of it. But originally we start off in the school, and then we go through the museum, the lovely museum, gorgeous museum. You should actually be in there more, or at least the people that are my age. Never even really set foot in there until I got into this documentary. And this documentary is giving me choices and opportunities to learn more about the history of my hometown. I've been living here ever since I was 4 and just never really knew about it until now. I've been to high school games. I've been to basketball games all through the high school, just not particularly knowing exactly how important it is. And this documentary is it. It's about how important the community it is, and how, like, Sedro Woolley has no community like anybody else. You don't go into Mount Vernon and everybody knows your name or can lend you your tractor for the week and they just trust you. You can't go anywhere except for Sedro Woolley and be part of Sedro Woolley for you to get those opportunities and all these great people to surround yourself with. And yeah, I mean, this documentary is an amazing thing. It's short, but it has a lot of powerful feelings that you can go through it. And it's a journey of mine through the end. I walk off in this beautiful sunset, hopefully, just to start my new chapter of life and being ready to go to graduation and becoming an actual adult, not just a Diet Coke adult. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say.
Thanks very much. One thing I'll do this part's really quickly now to give you a feeling of what we're actually doing and what the purpose of it is. I'll forget it if I don't tell you now, but when we had Rotarians come with us to Russia when we went back to do some of the other filming, and they had their own agenda there. But what happened between their sponsoring this film and us all working together towards a common purpose, a very common purpose, but we were doing it. You know, we were really doing it, and it was scary and wonderful and scary. But we were there, and we filmed this too, for the creation and the first meeting of the Rotary Club in the Soviet Union. And that was really something. And I felt that was kind of a payback for what they had given us, was to try to help that happen. But we both worked together, and we both succeeded, I believe. So buying new cameras and different kind of lights now and all those things, and back on the street again, I thought, what can I do now? What can I do? I don't like what I'm seeing around me. Okay, what am I going to do about it? The same question I asked myself under the cedar tree, which, by the way, now I've planted a little baby tree right in the middle of the old one, and I'm encouraging it to grow enough. I talk to it a lot and water it, and I say, get big so I can stand under your shadow and come up with another thing to do that'll kick my ass. But it's growing, and it's almost there. I have to get down on my knees now to get a shadow, but I do it. So I looked at kind of what I thought. I always think you have to have something in a film. You have to take people between hither and yon. You have to do something. And there's an art to that, and an art. And I've studied that long enough and understand it pretty good. But there are two themes in this film. And Jenny's told you it follows a girl from questioning to being sent by her principal, who rather than tells her a whole bunch of things, which she could have, but she says, what do we say? You have to be the wise mother and send her on her journey, right? And you did. And that led to the museum, and then that led to 7 different teachers, our new superintendent, and the final shot was 2 of our previous superintendents who come here and and chosen to stay. And then we go back to the track and she's a different person. And I think she actually is a little fatigued person, but different. There is a need. There's a need because we're at each other's throats and people are frightened. When I did some pre-meetings with the people I wanted to interview to get a feel of them, the wrestling coach, Cassidy from the fast pitch team, coach, and some of these people, I had several people come to tears. And they apologized, and I said, what is it? And I came to realize that what they were upset about was they love this community and they see it in peril. They love it and they don't want us to change. But how? Because they obviously see it slipping away if they're that emotional. And then so the whole subtext in the film is twofold. One, that the community and the school are one entity. The school is the visible aspect of a community's will, and the pride that we have in our school is the community's shadow. They're inseparable. And the second thing is that education occurs in the private schools. And there's I've barely missed a school board meeting for the last year from the really bad days and watched it change and to where people are much more positive now and beginning to look for answers instead of just trying to blame people and be disruptive. We've made some huge changes here. And what I'm going to propose, and I've talked to the superintendent about this, he's been, Brett Greenwood has been so supportive all along, and the current superintendent, is that when we show these films, if they work and they make people think, by God, look at the history of our town. That's why we went to the museum. Look at what we have. And it's worth saving, and it's worth not saying there's nothing I can do about it. There's something everybody can do about it. And that comes out in how they cooperate with each other. Instead of just trying to find out how to make more business, we look at how to keep the town strong so it attracts business. And that pride is here. We still say hello to everybody on the streets. At least I do. Some of them answer back. Most of them answer back. But it's so important now to show the strength in the school and show the strength in the community. And then when we show these films, I'd like to have a forum right after it, not to show the film and everybody goes, or whatever, and leaves, but to have a forum right after it where we invite the school, someone that represents the school, but the school's not putting it on. I'd like to have somebody from the community, from the business community, who can talk with the public about what to do. How do we make this place work? And get the people involved and get the voter count up from 15% to maybe 30, get more people active and pull them in and make them realize they can't just say somebody should do something about that. They should do something about that. And that's what I want to have in these forums that are right after, is an ongoing presentation of the idea and a place where you can come and share those ideas together cooperatively as a mission statement. How are we going to do the things we need to do? All done? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So anyway, I won't tell you too much more about the film, but you've got an idea, and we finished shooting and now it's in the editing process. And I'm happy about that. So go ahead and tell them nobody knows the name yet, but we'll tell you what the name of it is. So go ahead and tell them, that's all we're going to say.
It's butterflies.
And you'll see why if you come see the film. So any questions from anyone at all? Sir? Well, yeah, where will it be shown? Every place we can. And I know we have some people in here right now that are already helping us because I want to expand out from here, but definitely we'll probably be showing any place we have. We'll show it in the little museum room. We'll also show it in as big of a venue as we can find, and we will find them. We will find them. Okay? Great.
Thank you. And before you guys leave, we got one of our challenges. I got one for you. That one's a keychain, and that one's got our information on our challenge. All right, I want to say thank you for our program. Thank you, Carrie, for your students that you allowed to come up here today. Thank you for our guests. Appreciate you guys hanging around. And if we could, somebody take those orange crushes, please. Or Mike and I are going to have to take them out to Sheena's shooting thing, and we may be shooting orange crushes. That'd be good. All right. So if we can clean up, and with that, we are adjourned.